Good morning and welcome to Washington Live, powered by KCTC. I'm your host, Diana Rich, and I'm joined in the studio with our producer, Nick Steffens. Good morning, Nick.
Good morning. It's been a while.
Where have you been?
Where have you been? I've been here hosting and producing the show for the past week since all of our hosts decided to take vacation at the same exact time.
Yeah, sorry about that. I went out to the Grand Tetons and Yellowstone, and then when I came back, I just hit the ground running with all of the things that I missed when I was gone. So I'm here now.
You did tell me about that, and I completely forgot. How was it?
It was awesome. It was beautiful. The Grand Tetons were awesome. Yellowstone was cool too, but when you like hiking, Yellowstone's not as cool. But saw a lot of bison, saw a mama grizzly bear with 3 cubs, and that was pretty cool, and I didn't die.
That's always the positive.
so that's the bonus of the trip. So anyways, it's good to be back. All right, coming up later in our show, we'll be joined with Dan Henderson and Anthony DeVaughn, and we'll be talking to them about 2 upcoming Juneteenth celebrations happening here in Washington. Looking forward to learning more about those events and sharing them with you soon, so stay tuned for that. But first, let's take a look at the weather. It is 63 degrees and mostly sunny. It's a beautiful, beautiful morning outside. Looks like it's going to heat up a little bit, and then throughout the week also get a little bit warmer. But what did you think about the weather this weekend, Nick?
I was going to make a point about I love when the weather gets super cold in the nights because based on my complexion, I like the cold. And so when I wake, because I don't turn the heat on before I go to bed. And so I wake up and the house is like 63 degrees and I'm very much in my element when that's the case.
You love that?
Yep.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. Having a little chillier temps, except for we had baseball this weekend. And
that's never fun.
Our church had a pool party on Saturday night. It was like 65 degrees and like drizzling.
Did anyone get in the pool?
Oh, the kids did. And then like we're all like in our hooded sweatshirts and our umbrellas at the ice cream social and it's freezing. I'm like, go figure, it's June. And
it was a good excuse for me to like not go outside though. And I appreciate that.
But it was crazy. Like I was at Saturday baseball tournament, got sunburnt. And then Sunday baseball tournament and like hoodie, like closed-toed shoes, all the things. So
did you have to break out your little pod?
I didn't break out my pod. No, that's in storage until the fall. So, but no, it was nice out. We'll take it. Can't complain, right? And the farmers, I think, enjoyed the rain they got.
That's true.
So, looking forward to some upcoming events here this week. It looks like the Chamber Golf Fun Days are this Thursday and Friday. Ladies' Day on Thursday, Men's Day on Friday. Not sure if they're full or not, but you should give them a call if you're still interested in playing in that. And then, of course, we have the Wizard of Oz this Friday, June 16th from 7:30 to 9:30. And did you talk to some people from the play recently?
Some of the cast and crew. Don't quiz me on all 3 of their names.
Is it just one day or is it multiple days?
I think it's multiple.
Okay.
I think it's all weekend.
I thought so too.
I just copy and pasted the most recent calendar things from the chamber.
Very good. I just want to make sure we're giving the most accurate information.
Yeah. So the first night is Friday, and they're almost sold out. So get your tickets.
Get your tickets.
Are you signed up for the golf at all?
I am. I'm playing golf on Thursday.
Is it a team thing, or are you an individual?
Yeah.
How does that work?
The women's is a 4-lady best shot.
Okay.
And 2 times reigning champs to my team. So
really?
We're signed up again. Yep. And
gotta defend the title.
I guess, yeah. And then Friday is the men's, and I think it's a 2-person best shot. But I think the key to winning is just buying all of the freebie things that you can get, like the mulligans and the.
You basically so that's how they get the money for.
You're paying to win, yeah. Basically.
Oh, okay. So you have deep
strategic.
Pockets.
Yeah, exactly. I guess you could call it that. Okay, let's look at the police report. 19 traffic calls, 7 animal calls, 5 warrant arrests, 5 911 hang-up calls. That's a lot. 4 calls for public service, 4 fire calls, several other calls for a total of 73 calls on the police report over the weekend. Nick pulled out the lowlights of the police report. We have an intimidation and harassment call in Washington. Caller reported a male subject was taking pictures of the workers. And then they asked him to stop. He got mad and started yelling, then tossed a tray at the workers. 105 and 107 responded. 107 advised report to be filed.
Just get your Happy Meal and leave. You don't need to be doing all that.
Oh, was this at McDonald's?
I'm pretty sure that's McDonald's.
Oh, jeez. Wow. Oh, man. All right. An animal loose in Washington. Caller reported a little tan dog running down the middle of the road. Looks skinny and is just wandering. Believes he might be deaf. 105 responded to assist catching the dog. It was returned to its owner. Happy ending.
Yeah. I had a friend that had a deaf dog, but like it was kind of like a bat where if you just like clapped your hands, it would you get it like echolocate. So maybe that's all they had to do with this dog.
Maybe. A civil standby call in Kelowna reports his mother has his birth certificate and will not give it to him. Requested deputy assist. 928 responded. Mother was not able to locate the document. Caller was advised to obtain a duplicate birth certificate.
So is that what happens when you lose your birth certificate? You don't cease to exist. You just have to go get a cop. They have copies of them, or how does that work?
How do you prove that you were born?
That's why I'm confused.
Yeah.
Because I almost lost mine. I thought I did. I didn't.
You don't
thankfully.
see this in the police report every day.
No.
That someone calls trying to get their birth certificate from their mother.
Jade was born in Texas, and apparently for a chunk of time, I don't know if it was a couple of years, they weren't putting enough information on their birth certificates.
Oh, interesting.
And so, you use your birth certificate to get other government documents, but she can't because it's it just says her name and when she was born, and it has no other details.
So what's the solution to that?
The state of Texas just kind of screwed over 3 years worth of children.
Everybody.
by not putting any information.
My funny birth certificate story was my son Dalton was born in St. Louis. We lived in Washington. I went down for opening day. He was born
perfect time to.
He was born 6 weeks early in St. Louis. My husband wasn't there. It wasn't planned. And so then he was in the NICU for a while. Anyways, we get back home. I call St. Louis to get his birth certificate. And they were like, well, what's your address? And I told them, they're like, you're talking to the state of Missouri, right? I'm like, yes, I know that. My kid was born there. I just need you to mail it to Iowa. And they questioned me so many times. I'm like, yes, he was born there. I need his birth certificate. But anyways, we got it. All is good. Except for the fact that he has a Missouri birth certificate.
I was going to say, that's kind of embarrassing.
And then we have a suspicious activity call in Washington. Officer reports being out with a vehicle that has a shopping cart tied to it with a tow strap. 110 advised the subject to go home.
I like how that was the solution to the problem. Just get out of here.
That's
not unhook the shopping
Those are
cart.
my favorite calls. I mean, that is great suspicious activity. Or is it genius?
Yeah, I don't think you would label that as suspicious activity. I think we know exactly. There's nothing sus about it.
At least do you think they stole the shopping cart?
That's
do you think
a good
that
point.
was actually
That's
theft
a good point
and not
about the
suspicious activity? All right. Well, we'll let you guys all think about that for the remainder of the day. And we'll head to commercial break. And when we get back, we'll talk to Dan Henderson and Anthony DeVaughn.
Federation Bank is a locally owned bank providing award-winning customer service. We believe that we are more than just a federation of banks, but a federation of communities, serving Brighton, Richland, Wellman, and Washington, Iowa. Federation Bank's highly skilled staff is here to make sure you are able to accomplish your personal and professional goals, whatever they may be. Federation Bank, your family bank.
When you aspire to be a dancer, you are both an artist and an athlete. Your strength combines with beauty and grace seamlessly. Your efforts result in enhanced coordination, the ability to cooperate and compromise with others, and the confidence to perform in front of an audience. Not to mention the fun you will have and the lifelong friendships you will develop. We are enrolling now for fall classes, and we would love to see you shine like the star that you are. Join us for Dance and Tumbling at Stairway to the Stars. Please visit our website for online registration.
Hospice isn't a place, it's a type of care that focuses on living. Servicing a 7-county area, the Hospice of Washington County staff of nurses, social work, hospice aides, spiritual and grief support, volunteers, music and massage therapists are able to provide free end-of-life care where the patient lives. We write wills, give consent for organ donation, but rarely is there a plan for what we would want the final phase of our lives. At Hospice of Washington County, we encourage our patients to be in charge of their healthcare decisions while maintaining quality of life.
Family owned and operated by Andy and Sarah Ross. Ross Auto has been your vehicle repair and maintenance headquarters since 1935. We specialize in all makes of cars and light-duty trucks. With our variety of available services, let us help you keep rolling and your vehicle operating efficiently. Services include general auto repair, alignments, brakes, fuel injection, and more. Schedule your appointment today at 319-653-5656. That's 319-653-5656.
Hey Andrea, what did the triangle say to the circle? You're pointless.
Welcome back to Washington Live. I'm your host, Diana Rich. I'm joined in the studio with Dan Henderson and Anthony DeVaughn. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How's it going?
terrific, beautiful day out.
Beautiful Monday morning. All right, great. And so I'm going to be talking with Dan and Anthony about upcoming Juneteenth celebrations happening in Washington this coming weekend. I guess first, for people, watching the show who might not be familiar with Juneteenth, or they might know what it is but not know a lot about it, do you guys want to first answer the question, what is Juneteenth?
Sure, I'll take a stab at it, and
Okay.
then Anthony can correct me and fill in whatever gaps I make.
Yeah.
This is our actual third annual Juneteenth event here in Washington, but Juneteenth has been celebrated for decades, probably ever since 1865, because the day commemorates the last day that the last enslaved people in the United States learned of their freedom. It was June 19th, 1865. And so that day has kind of been held in as a celebration day for the ending of the institution of slavery in the United States. So that's kind of what the holiday is about. And we started doing this about 3 years ago. I guess our belief, and when I say we, it's Washington for Justice as a group of local citizens or residents. And we just feel it's important to join together to celebrate freedom. Freedom is something that everyone likes and enjoys, and whether you're black, white, we need to celebrate the freedom of all Americans. And so, we celebrate July 4th, but we also feel it's important to celebrate June 19th.
Yeah.
Anything I missed on that?
You did pretty good. Dan is usually the go-to guy.
Yeah, okay. Very good. That's great. Yeah, great explanation. And so we have two events that the Washington for Justice is putting on, two Juneteenth celebrations, like you mentioned. So first, there's one on Juneteenth, which Juneteenth Father's Day celebration on June 18th at the United Methodist Church at noon. Who wants to share a little bit about that event and what's happening with
I
that?
guess I'll tag I'm it. Okay. Well, June 18th, by the way, everyone knows my father. I've been known for the longest, are you George's son? And yeah, I'm George's son. When did we interview him?
It was back in December.
So December of 2022, Dan and I had talked about interviewing my dad. He has been in Iowa over 40 years now, and he has been a cornerstone in this community. And so I moved about 2 years ago to be here with him. And it's a culmination of just timing of everything falling into place with me being here, my dad, his history, and then the community interest in him. There have been other people who have talked to him. Fortunately, Dan was the one that was able to interview him. And so I have helped with Juneteenth in the past, and the thought was, how can we let the community know about who my father is? Because everybody knows him, but do they really know him?
Yeah.
And so this is a life history, oral history on his life, from being born in Alabama, going through the Jim Crow era, to being here in Washington, Iowa. And Dan, along with Stephen Barry, who did the video, put it all together.
Very cool.
So it's pretty amazing to witness the unfolding of all of this and be here with my dad, 93, still George, and then we decided to have it at Washington United Methodist Church, where I pastor, and it's just all falling into place.
Yeah.
And it's been pretty amazing.
So as we were planning for this year's Juneteenth event, I had already done the interview with George, and I had in the back of my mind this would make a great event to show during Juneteenth. And then as I talked to Anthony, I realized, well, we could also do a Juneteenth potluck at the church. So it's actually a two-part event that day on the 18th. So the potluck, which is going to be a traditional Juneteenth. Now, what is that? That's we put out a little online, Juneteenth recipes. What
Oh, yeah.
And it's really neat. So anybody that wants to come and provide something, now we actually have the barbecue is being provided. So what we're looking for are side dishes and desserts and that kind of thing. But it's open to the public. Come down and whatever you want to bring. And we'll have a kind of a Juneteenth meal together. And then at 1 o'clock, we show the video of the interview with George.
Okay.
And it lasts about 50 minutes long. But I have to tell you, George is an amazing man. I knew George because I've known him for many years, but I didn't, as Anthony said, I didn't really know him until I had this interview with him. And he's led an amazing life, and he's a man of honor and integrity, which really comes through in this interview, and quite frankly shows in Anthony and his brothers. He has 2 brothers, by the way, and one of them is going to be here for the next event, but I'll let you get back. But that's what's going on the 18th. So it's kind of a combination Juneteenth Father's Day.
Yeah.
Because with Anthony's being the pastor at United Methodist, we interviewed his father. It's a perfect Father's Day tribute.
Yeah, that's
really.
great.
Yeah.
Great. So what time is church at the United Methodist Church on Sunday if people want to come to church?
Well, that would be great. We have worship at 10 o'clock.
Okay, so 10 o'clock
Sunday
worship.
school is at 9, worship at 10.
Worship at 10. Then the Juneteenth celebration potluck at noon.
At noon.
And then the 1 o'clock premiere showing the life of George DeVaughn. And you guys provided a great teaser. I've lived in Washington my whole life, went away to college, but live here. I know George. I think he went to my parents' church for a while and knew him from that, and then knew him, of course, at Hy-Vee. Always such a great guy. I think we also maybe helped around his house a little bit when I was a kid. We'd go over there, and I remember going to his house multiple times. I can't remember exactly what we did there, but so good teaser. Like I don't really know the life of George DeVaughn. So
you mentioned Hy-Vee. I think that's where Hy-Vee got the line. There's a helpful smile in every aisle. I think that was George that probably based that on.
Probably.
Just
So. All right. So that sounds like an awesome celebration, like you said, paired up with Father's Day. So very cool. And then there's a Juneteenth commemoration on Juneteenth, and that's at the Washington Public Library at 6 p.m. Monday, June 19th. And who wants to tell us more about that event?
Well, I'll jump in.
Tag for it.
Last year when we did Juneteenth, we did a whole week-long series of events. Some were educational, some were just, again, potluck types of different things. And we brought in authors and artists. So it's not quite as involved this year. We've held it to 2 days instead of like 6 days. It was a lot of work, 6 days. But we wanted to do something on Juneteenth to commemorate that event, that is the freeing. And by the way, there were 4 million enslaved people that gained their freedom in 1865. That's, to us, that's something worth celebrating.
Yeah,
it made our country much better. And even though things weren't perfect after that, at least the institution of slavery was gone. So that needs to be commemorated. And so what we've done is we've invited another DeVaughn. There's actually a third DeVaughn. So this is a Juneteenth DeVaughn event, I guess. But
No.
Michael DeVaughn, who actually lives in L.A., lives in Los Angeles, will be here. And I've met him. He was here several times over the past months. And he's going to be sharing a little bit about Juneteenth itself and the importance of it, just to kind of give our community some context around Juneteenth. And Bethany Glinsman will be kind of hosting that evening. She is our executive director for Washington for Justice.
Okay.
And so she'll kind of be hosting that. And then after that, we're going to show a film. It's the movie Till, which is about the life, or murder, I should say, of Emmett Till, which is a pretty dramatic and in many ways horrible event. But the reason we chose that is to kind of illustrate that even though there has been freedom for Black Americans for over 100 years, the work isn't finished. There is still racial strife. There's still racism within the country, and the story of Emmett Till is very poignant. I always mention this, that happened the year I was born. So it was within my lifetime that a young man went to Mississippi and was lynched. So we bring it up not to, be divisive, but to kind of illustrate we're in this together. Let's work together to heal these wounds and to bring about racial healing and reconciliation. So we'll have that film and then a short, maybe reflection discussion time after it. For anyone that wants to come, it starts at 6, and film will probably start around 6:30.
Okay.
So,
because one of the things what Dan touched on, and I even asked the question when I got here, people go, well, what does that have to do with Washington, Iowa? It's a predominantly white community. What does it mean? And I think we have dealt with that every year of trying to make it make sense to the community. And one of the things that Dan touched on, and it is relevant and true that times we don't want to talk about things. And what we're hoping that comes out of the Monday event is that it creates a dialogue, that people will talk about it and not go, well, that's in the past.
Right.
It is in the past, but we can be prone to repeat the past if we're not aware of what has happened.
Yeah.
And so prayerfully, we can get to a point where people won't be bothered or uncomfortable. And you will be uncomfortable. Life is uncomfortable. I share with my congregation, if you're comfortable in your faith, then don't have much of a faith, because what we have to do takes us out of our comfort zone. To be able to be my brother's keeper and sit down with people is not the norm. We would rather be in our own cocoon of comfort. So hopefully Monday, or even the Sunday event, will get people to look at things a little different and go, okay, I do know something different, or I've learned something different about George DeVaughn. He's more than the man who stands behind the counter at Hy-Vee.
Yeah.
And the word everyone says, oh, we love George. And that's a common phrase or response. Well, prayerfully, they will come out and get to know the man and really learn to love who he is, because he has a story. And it's I've been here now 2 years, and naturally he's been my father all of my life, but the time I've been here now supersedes anything prior. This is precious time to be with a man who is 93, still living, and I like to say he still parents me. He's still my father.
Yeah.
He still pulls my coattail, and I'm thankful to have that.
Yeah, absolutely. Very good. All right. Yeah, those sound like a couple great events coming up this weekend, and everyone's invited, and that sounds great. Let's head to commercial break, and when we come back, we can talk about the silent auction that's going to be happening, as well as maybe anything else that we missed. Okay. All right.
Sounds good.
We'll be right back.
Since 1905, Kelowna Cooperative Technology Company has helped our community stay connected with the latest advancements in clear, dependable telecommunications services. KCTC provides rural Iowans with access to high-speed fiber internet, as well as phone, television, computer repair, and cybersecurity solutions. We're also proud supporters of local organizations and area schools within the community. KCTC, keeping Kelowna connected.
At the Capper Auto Group, we put our customers' needs first and understand that everyone is as different as the vehicle they select. We offer new Ford, Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge, and Ram vehicles in a friendly environment that puts you in the driver's seat. When it comes to service, we maintain factory-trained technicians and competitive pricing. The Capper Auto Group still believes that service after the sale provides the best customer experience. Come see the Capper experience for yourself.
You know, it's not a question of what all you have and so on with your life. It's who is in your life and how much you care for them and how much they care for you. And Tammy definitely cares.
I met Tammy about 20 years ago when her daughter was in Special Olympics and I was coaching. Told me that she was into doing senior benefits. We became even closer friends. She cares about everybody, especially the seniors. So call her.
Welcome back to Washington Live. I'm your host, Diana Rich, joined in the studio with Anthony DeVaughn and Dan Henderson, and we've been talking about the Juneteenth celebrations happening here in Washington this weekend. There's the Father's Day Juneteenth celebration at the Washington United Methodist Church. At noon is the potluck, and then 1 p.m. premiere showing The Life of George DeVaughn. And then the Washington Public Library Juneteenth commemoration happening at 6 p.m. on June 19th at the Washington Public Library. So both sound like very informative events and great opportunity. Two different opportunities. Come to one, come to both, whatever works best in your schedule. And check those out to learn more about Juneteenth. And so we talked a little bit about those events, like I mentioned, and then we were talking about a silent auction. Can you tell me about this silent auction that's happening right now and how people can be involved?
Yeah, certainly. Last year during Juneteenth, there's a black artist in Iowa City. Her name is Jean Berry.
Okay.
And her son Stephen, who actually filmed the video of the interview with George, she loved what we were doing, so she contributed three of her prints last year for a silent auction to help raise money for Washington for Justice to be able to do these kinds of events. And she did it again this year. We didn't even ask, but Stephen actually told me that his mom has a couple prints that she would donate, and we could have a silent auction just to raise money to support these events. So right now there are 2 prints of Jean Berry's over at Art Domestique. So go over there, cross the square, make sure you go there and look at them, and there are bid sheets there.
Okay.
So you have to be there. It's a silent auction, but you can't do it online. You actually have to be there, and you're going to love the works that she has. They're beautiful. Now, that auction is currently running, so you can go anytime and make a bid. We will bring those prints over to United Methodist on the 18th.
Great.
And over to the library on the 19th. And the bid will end at that event on the 19th at the library. So we'll announce who the winning bid is at that point. But it's really such a wonderful just partnership again. We reached out to the Berries, and they're just always, they live in Iowa City, but they love Washington. I can tell you that. Yeah. Jean Berry constantly says, I should just move to this town. and we said, we'd love to have you here, which is, quite frankly, what as an organization we're trying to do. How do we create a community where black people want to come and live? Mm-hmm. And that's part of the reasoning and the grand strategy, if you will, I suppose, behind what we do. We want to make a welcoming community here for all people because we see diversity as an essentially positive and strengthening thing for our community, not a negative. Mm-hmm. Anthony, I don't know if anything you want to add to that. But.
No, I mean, Dan is the mouthpiece. I come along for decoration. But no, and I definitely agree with Dan's sentiments. It's one of the things that when I came here visiting my dad before I moved, it was the people that I liked. And people keep saying it must be a culture shock. No. For me, it's not. I think it's timing, and I came with a purpose.
Yeah.
I love it. Since I've been here, I've gotten married and dragged my wife from California. She's here. We got married here in Iowa. And I have to say, my son has come out, my brother, everybody wants to move here because it's beyond imaginable. People can't conceive of it. Mm-hmm. When you come here and you live and visit, my pastor in California came and performed a wedding here, and we had some friends that came out. And again, they were just amazed at the ambiance and the character of Washington. And so, does it have challenges? Naturally. But overall, it's a great place to be. And I'm thankful to be here, meeting Dan, and Washington United Methodist Church has embraced me and welcomed me. It's a godsend. So I'm very thankful.
Good.
And by the way, you'll hear a little bit more about Anthony. At the end of the interview with George, we bring Anthony in, and he talks a little bit about his experience coming here, what brought him here. So you'll gain a little new insight into that. But we're just thrilled and blessed to have Anthony in our community and being here.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
Dan made me say something. I hadn't planned on being in the interview. And
He talked you into coming.
yeah.
Well, that's great, and lots of great teasers for the event. Probably stirring lots of curiosity for people that are watching. So that's great. All right, so the silent auction. You heard Dan. Get over to Art Domestique and check that out. And the bidding ends on Monday, the 19th, at the event at the library. And as you mentioned, those proceeds go to the Washington for Justice group to help fund events like this. And then you guys also do some other events throughout the year?
we every holiday season we do a food drive. We simply go out and provide food baskets for whoever needs it. It's just a free giveaway. We usually partner with the Mill Seed Company building over there on Main, and Iowa Avenue.
You had me fooled. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not good at. I've lived here my whole life, and I'm like, yeah.
I've been
I
here
know what you're talking about.
over 20 years, and I still don't have all the streets right.
That's all right. We forgive you.
Anyway, we do that. We do a lot of try to do educational events. You know, the interview with George was part of what we do. We do book studies. We did a book study on the 1619 project last fall. So we've got lots of events going on, and it's all about creating that dialogue that Anthony mentioned. And again, sometimes those dialogues aren't always comfortable. They aren't always, something that you would think about doing for fun.
Yeah.
But they're important.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you that for me, having been friends with Anthony, he and I have been able to have some of those conversations. They aren't always comfortable, but they're honest. Mm-hmm. And I appreciate his honesty and what it's done for me in terms of understanding.
Yeah.
It helps me in our goal of trying to create a more welcoming community. And I think the reaction you heard from Anthony and his family members who have been here is just a great testament to the type of community we do have here. So if we can add to that in any way, that's our goal.
Yeah.
And to invite everybody come to Washington. It's a great place to be.
Good. And I like what Anthony said earlier. You grow by being uncomfortable, right? So I like that. I think that's good for everybody to remember. So, all right. Anything else you guys want to touch on before we?
We just thank you for the time and the opportunity to share these events, and we hope people in the community will come out and participate with us. You may never have been involved in a Juneteenth event before in Washington, but we hope you'll come out and have fun and participate with us.
Yeah, very good. All right.
It'll be a good time.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Now, moving on to the National Day. Nick, this is an interesting one.
It's National Raggedy Ann and Andy Day. I didn't know there was a Raggedy Andy.
I've said this before, and I'm going to say this for the 29th time, but who is sitting in an office thinking of these ridiculous days? Right? Come on.
Couldn't tell you.
You got to come up with something better than National Raggedy Ann.
I'm just surprised that there's a Raggedy Andy Day. I didn't know there was a Raggedy Andy to...
Right. Like if you just said Raggedy Andy, you'd be like...
You mean Ann? Like...
All right. Have you guys played the birthday game before?
Yep.
Oh, I think we did. I was here before once.
I am not sure if I know any of these people who are having birthdays
Yeah, it's only the
today.
best birthday.
Maybe I'll
days
recognize
for
them when I see
birthdays.
their picture, but this could get ugly.
So for the birthday game, I'm going to put a celebrity whose birthday is today on the screen. You have to
Okay.
guess their age. If you're within 3 years, you get a point. If you get it right on, you get 2 points.
When I was here last time, I won this game.
Uh-oh.
I don't,
So did I.
Did you?
I've won before too, but I've also been on the show a lot. So I've lost more times than one.
Okay.
I don't know if I have any
Let's
trophies
see, let's
in
see
the
how
box.
we do.
Okay, our first celebrity is Dave Franco, who is the younger brother of James Franco, his more famous older brother.
So I'm aging myself. I don't even know who he
I
is.
was going to say this.
He looks familiar, but I also don't. I'm going to go 33.
I'm going to go
Actually, it looks
38.
okay.
30.
He is 38. So Dan hopping out too
Yeah,
early.
look at you.
2-0 lead.
Oh.
There we go.
Next up, we have.
So you get an extra point if you hit the date or
Yeah,
the year
so you got 2
exactly?
points. Yeah, 2
I
points.
got 2
Points, yeah.
So next up, we have what's his name? Mark Henry, the former WWE wrestler.
Yeah, I've seen him before.
He started out around the same time The Rock was famous, and
Now,
I
he's
think he
got
just
that
recently
gray beard
retired.
thing going on.
45.
That's my number.
You going 45?
Yeah, but no, okay.
I'm going to go a little bit older. I think he's 49.
Wow. 52.
He is 52.
Oh, look at you. Nice
There you
work.
go.
Jeez, 2-2.
2-3 because he said 49.
Oh,
Dan said
yeah,
49.
You're
so.
right.
Oh, so I get a point.
Yeah,
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So we're at
Great.
3-2 to
You're gonna
nothing.
skunk me.
Next up is, where is he at? Richard. I don't even know how to pronounce his last name. I'm going to make this bigger for you guys. Oh, it's all pixelated. His name is Richard Ayoade. Ayoade.
Should we know Richard?
He's more famous in the UK
Oh.
than he is in the United States, but he was third on the list of the website I look at. So
You know this guy?
No.
No, I don't know.
And that's a
I'm
terrible
going to go
picture.
42.
So I'm going to go younger this time. I think he's 35.
Good one, Dan. I'm sorry, what did you say?
42.
42. He's not old. But I'll go higher. 45.
he is 46. So
Oh,
Anthony's
Anthony
tied it
gets
up
there.
3
Way to go.
0.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Drew Holiday, the basketball player. I honestly don't know what team he's on right now. Looks like, does that say Bucks
Yeah.
on the jersey?
Yep. I will go 27.
I'm going to go 28.
Okay.
25.
He's 33, so no points.
Wow.
on that round.
Nobody.
Whoa.
Wow.
Okay, we all wiped out on that one.
Yeah.
So.
He's
Okay.
been around a while. Or he started late, one of the two.
Yeah.
I know. That's what I was thinking too.
So this is our bonus round. This is our least famous person. This is worth double points.
Okay.
So Diana, you can still win. It is. Let me find her photo first before I look at her name. It's Ellen Burgius, a Swedish reality TV star.
Swedish reality, huh?
Looks very
Do you watch much Swedish reality TV?
No, it's not on my
21.
favorites list.
I'm going 21.
21. I'm going to go 25.
You're in my head. 27.
She is 30. So Anthony, you get 2
Oh,
points on that
Anthony.
one. So you
Yeah.
win 5 to 3 to 0.
Congratulations.
Anthony is
All
the
right.
winner.
Congratulations.
Diana, you got
Are you
skunked.
undefeated now?
Undefeated.
2-0? Oh, man, nice job. I did get skunked. I didn't get a single
Took me out, man.
point.
Took me out.
I would like to say that was strategic on my part, you know, to make the guests feel so welcome, but
That was nice of you.
Make
Straight
the
up was
guys
just-
feel good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was nice of you.
I just awfully guessed on 5 people. So, all right. Well, thanks again for joining us today.
Thank
guys.
you.
For having us.
I
Thank you.
appreciate it. And for everyone, thanks for joining us on Washington Live. As always, if you know someone who should be on the show, or if you want to be on the show, email us at washialive@gmail.com, and make sure to call Julie at the Southeast Iowa Union if you're interested in advertising. Thanks for joining us, and I hope you